भद्रं कर्णैभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैस्तुष्टुवागंसस्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. Let's now pray together. We offer our salutations to the all-loving being who endows all beings with consciousness. We meditate on the Lord who is the origin of the universe. Lord, thou abidest in all, thou art all, thou assumest all forms, thou art the origin and goal of all, thou art the self of all, thou art existence, knowledge and bliss. Salutations unto thee. May the world be peaceful. May the wicked become gentle. May all creatures think of mutual welfare. May their minds be occupied with what is spiritual and abiding. May our hearts be immersed in selfless love for the Lord. Peace, peace, peace be unto all. Let us close our eyes and try to feel the deepest, unchanging, tremendously luminous core of our being. It remains the unchanging presence while the body keeps on changing. Right from early infancy, the body changes its shapes, its abilities, becomes a youth, becomes old and dies, reappear again. The body keeps on changing, and yet the core, the spirit, remains the same. That is our true identity. And all the different bodies are taken up as clothings a baby clothing, a youth clothing, an old age clothing. Again back to baby clothing. I remain the same, one without second, which does not change. Om. Peace, peace, peace. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. That divine is perfect. This changing universe also in essence is perfect. The perfect emerges from the perfect. When this changing perfect is gone, what remains, that also is perfect. Om, peace, peace, peace. Today's discussion is result of a lot of things that I hear, that reincarnation is not accepted by the Jewish or the Christians. And while the mainstream understanding of these faiths go, it certainly is true. But there is something beyond that. That in both Judaism and Christianity, these things were at one time accepted, although so far as Judaism goes, this has come to light very powerfully in last some centuries with the emergence and acceptance of what is called Kabbalah. Now you find so many Jewish rabbis teaching Kabbahas. Even some Orthodox Jewish rabbis also talk about Kabbalah. And Kabbalah, this esoteric or mystic strain of Judaism, speaks a lot about reincarnation. As to the Christianity, as we shall see, the basic philosophies underlying Christian thought, that is the Greek philosophers, they all accepted idea of reincarnation. You see, it is we can see these very prominent names, that like Parmenides, then Empedocles, Pythagoras, and most prominently Plato. They have all spoken of reincarnation. In fact, all of them have taken it as a most necessary explanation of this phenomena that we see. So, it is important to note that this is not something very peculiar only to the Hindu or the Buddhist thought and the other offshoots of the Indian religions. It is also very pervasively found in that culture where there was no persecution in the name of religion. For example, in the Greek thought, of course it all dates much before Christianity. So we see that all of them have mentioned this. I'll quote, say, this from Parmenides. A very deep thinker, great thinker, and he observes what we see in Sankhya as well as in Vedanta philosophy, this distinction between the changing and the unchanging, which actually is, as he later on mentions in the same vein as it were, gives rise to this idea that the unchanging takes up many different changing forms. So he calls the changing as the matter, unchanging as the spirit. So it is this thought has been fully recognized and in details explained by all these Greek philosophers, Plato especially, because the Plato's these literature is vastly studied and available in all different forms. So therefore, Plato in so many places, Plato means we know it is the writings of Plato, but he mentions Socrates. Socrates is giving answers to all these different questions. So in Meno, Phaedo, Timaeus, Phaedrus, and in the Republic, he clearly espouses the belief in the doctrine of reincarnation. It is in Phaedo, it is the rebirth of the soul into another life. And I am quoting from a source on internet, that since the process of dying is followed by the process of coming to birth again, that is how he calls it as completing the cycle. That Swami Abhedananda, it is interesting, he mentions many of these things. He also says that reincarnation is a necessary consequence of accepting the principle of evolution. Darwinian evolution does not go that far, but if we understand evolution, that there is a goal to it, that there is somewhere it must attain perfection, and till it attains perfection, the being, as it were, keeps on changing the species. That why the species is being changed, the two principles that Darwin gives is the selection, and then there is the idea of survival. So, survival of the fittest and natural selection. These two are like the two wheels of his theory of evolution. So all these depend, that when a species finds it very difficult to survive under the circumstances cannot be as such changed, then something evolves, means goes to a stage so that these circumstances will not matter much. We have seen so many examples of this, like this bacteria. Now, the bacteria, the doctor gives medications if you are affected by that, and then a disease gets cured, the bacteria gets killed. Now what does the bacteria do there? It changes itself so that that particular medicine will not be effective for it anymore. It will not be able to kill it. In medical world, it is said the bacteria has developed resistance to it. So who developed the resistance? That bacteria on which this was first tried, that bacteria died. Now what was there to develop this resistance? It got reincarnated in such a way that now that medication will not be effective against it. So it changes itself to a stage where it can survive better. I am seeing this, in about last 22 years I am here. The resistance developed by the fruit flies. The new varieties have come, It is, for first when I came, they used to come only, say around June, July, they would start. By September, because the atmosphere won't be supportive to them, they would say goodbye. And now they come sometimes late in August, and then we human beings feel cold, but they are fine, and they are having merry time. So it is how now that fruit fly saw that, oh, my life is becoming terrible. So let me change into that kind of flesh, that kind of clothing. Just as we put clothing for the winter, it also puts on the clothing, the body, that will not get troubled by the colder temperatures. So that is how it survives. We see that how the virus changes. Therefore, we have to go and take the shots again and again. No, a new strain has come. Why the new strain come now? Because that virus found it difficult to survive with this vaccine. And so therefore, a new species has been developed, new strain has been developed, new vaccine has to be made for that, and so forth. So we see this idea of evolution and reincarnation, they are actually coupled together. Only thing is, as Swami Vivekananda mentions, the idea of reincarnation has a goal, that this process of change will go on till it attains perfection. It is perfection that is the goal. And thus, till it attains that, this process goes on. And then we reach a point, that is where nothing can affect us. No circumstances can really matter for us. We are perfect. We are not subject to any, lack of freedom, lack of bliss, we are perfect. So that is the goal of this evolution. And these Greek philosophers, they acknowledge that. And therefore, they are very close to this idea that the evolution of this, the word evolution they didn't use in the same sense that Darwin used, but it is, Socrates refers to the idea of reincarnation as an old legend in his discussion of the effects of the mixture of body and soul. Socrates relates that one of the effects of the failure to separate them is rebirth into the forms of animals appropriate to the ruling of passions of the former life. This is very much close to how Vedanta tells that how one gets a new body. How does you choose a new body? The taking up the new body is accepted here. Only how you get a particular body and not another body, it is therefore told according to the passions of this earlier life that you had. It is, and then suitable to that, a new body according to that is taken up. Kathopanishad, for example, says that yatha karma yatha shrutam, that what is your now idea of enjoyment, and accordingly the suitable vehicle, the suitable body is taken up. Body is a vehicle, so you take it up according to your desires and the capability to pay for that. So you see these, it gives exactly the similar examples here. This is the Plato telling that the gluttonous become donkeys and the violent become carnivorous beasts. It is, that is how the things will change. The new birth will happen in this manner, that while those who are practiced unphilosophic virtue are reincarnated as ants or bees or even as humans again. So they take up that body where their passions will get scope. That is how the reincarnation takes place as per Plato. And many Christian thinkers have taken up Plato as the philosophical model, and then post up to Plato they were all far before Jesus. But then there were these two great philosophers acknowledged by many saints in Christianity. One was Plotinus and another was Origen. Origen was actually Christian. He almost got martyred. His father got martyred. He got wounded in the presence of the Romans, but didn't die there, so he didn't get the martyrhood as such. But of the wounds he died later. So, but he did not accept to give up his religion. He remained Christian. But his views as Christian was very much that reincarnation is there, that we change the bodies till we come to that perfection. It is not possible for everybody to attain to perfection in one birth. So therefore, it is you take birth again and again and again. So it is therefore they gave the idea of reincarnation in that way, that you have to develop yourself and then you have to get new body and so forth. So Origen was firm believer of this, and he has expounded it greatly, that we to become one with what Jesus says, as your Father in heaven. Be thou perfect as thy Father in heaven is perfect. Now you may require long time. In one birth it may not be possible. He uses the words like it may take lifetimes. And so during that process you go from one body to other body to the other body, gathering more and more perfection, and thus at that one level you attain to perfection, and the evolution is complete there. You get to the highest evolution through this process that goes on. So Plotinus, he was not Christian, but Saint Augustine, one of the very celebrated early Christian saint, he considers Plotinus to be the first Christian philosopher. Origen was declared heretic in the 6th century. When in the 6th century that doctrine of reincarnation was officially banned, that there is that no such decree, but it is told that reincarnation is not necessary. You can attain to the liberation in this birth if you have faith. So why reincarnation? Become you know perfect in this life. Why worry? So that was the idea, and so reference to reincarnation would mean that it is that you will not put in enough efforts in this life, so therefore stop it. Secondly, some people conclude, some thinkers, they have concluded that it is because the authorities were afraid that then all common people, everybody will see this as very clear and understandable doctrine and will strive for perfection on their own, will not submit to the wishes of this, what is called Mother Church, Mother Church and Father Pope. They will not bow down to their wishes, and therefore it was officially keep quiet about reincarnation. But even if you keep quiet, the people think now in this age there is no such, you cannot, church cannot submit somebody that well to that punishment, you will be burned alive or like that. So no inquisition. So therefore people think, and as that some surveys they indicate that in America, most who consider themselves Christians also accept the doctrine of karma and reincarnation. Doctrine of karma is, when you accept doctrine of karma, really you don't have an escape from this idea of reincarnation. It is because doctrine of karma means whatever you do, the results will befall on you. Now, if you did something and before you could reap the results, this body died, then what happens? Then, well, you have to take another body to repay that. It is not that you have to. There is that joke about a man whom doctor said, well, you have 6 months to live. And the man said, oh doctor, I am collecting money, but I don't think in 6 months I will have enough to pay your bill. Okay, then I give you 6 months more. So it is Ah, in the theory of reincarnation, if you don't pay in this birth, well, it will be taken away from you in your next birth. So it will be, you will be charged with interest for that. So anyway, the law of karma, because so many Christians now seem to accept this idea that because it is very clear to science and to Bible, as you sow, so you reap. That is, when translated in more philosophical terms, it becomes the law of karma. As you do, so will be the results. And then, if the body is gone, are the results gone? No, it is just like, that just because you change, you discontinue your account from one bank, doesn't mean that your loan gets this excuse. You don't get excuse from loan, you will still have to pay. So it is like that the reincarnation is an automatic consequence of the idea of law of karma. And lot of Christians now accept this idea in contemporary United States. Only those who considered themselves die-hard materialist scientists, they don't accept it. But they really have not much argument against it either. It is, they say we don't believe in it. What is the question of belief there? Just try to apply science and it will come out. Anyway, like that great thinker, he was a Christian, Voltaire, the French thinker. He said, I don't have any problem in accepting multiple births if I can accept one birth. What is the proof for having one birth? Can you give? No, so it is just evidence. So what is wrong with multiple births? It is so. And later on, they were of course Vedantins, although Christians like Schopenhauer. They accepted this idea of rebirth as a very necessary thing to understand the working of this world. So they have accepted reincarnation. But I will come to the Judaic ideas, the Jewish ideas expressed about Christianity, about reincarnation, and then those ideas, because Judaism and Christianity are so closely interrelated, they flow into Christianity as well. So, this is, I am quoting from a beautiful article on this subject by Rabbi Benjamin Resnick. And he says that although you don't see in Torah or Talmud any direct reference on reincarnation, there is no direct reference, not that, so it is not either banned or discredited. There is just no mention. So, but later on, Kabbalists brought out some of the truths directly in Torah, showing that it means reincarnation. The Kabbalist doctrines became prevalent from about 13th century. And although there have been many attempts to discredit them, it is growing. It is growing. As I mentioned earlier, even in Orthodox churches, some rabbis that I know, they are teaching Kabbalist texts like Zohar and Luria. So, and they are full of these references to reincarnation. And I am reading from this paper of Rabbi Benjamin Resnick. Gilgul, also Gilgul Nashmot, or this is Gilguli Ha Nashmot. It is a concept of reincarnation or transmigration of souls in Kabbalistic esoteric mysticism. In Hebrew, the word Gilgul means cycle. It is very interesting that interestingly pointed out here that it cycle or wheel, and Neshamot is the plural for souls. Souls are seen to cycle through lives or incarnations, being attached to different human bodies over time. Which body they associate with depends on their particular task in the physical world, spiritual levels of the bodies of predecessors, and so on. The concept relates to the wider process of history in Kabbalah involving cosmic tikkun, that is messianic rectification. That is the idea in evolution. Rectify yourself gradually. As you rectify, you become closer and closer to perfection. And the historical dynamic of ascending lights and descending vessels from generation to generation. Transmigration, the journey of an individual's soul through many incarnations, is something that religious seekers in the West often think of as samsara. He has used this Sanskrit word here, samsara. And the cycle of death and rebirth, which is a core aspect of the great dharmic religions, Buddhism, Hinduism, Sikhism, and Jainism. Sometimes overlooked both by Jews and the students of Jewish tradition is Gilgul, a concept that is described in great detail throughout Kabbalah. So it says that just as in Buddhism, it is the wheel, samsara keeps on turning, moving. It is the wheel of transmigration. You take birth, again it goes, but like the wheel, it is moving, like your wheel of the car. If you look at the wheel as the car is moving in some direction, the wheel is just making turns like this. But as a whole, the car is moving forward. So, exactly, this is dying, reborn, dying, getting reborn. And each of these cycles, in general, the life moves a little closer to the realization of perfection. So, samsara, which is often depicted as a wheel in the Buddhistic art, the word Gilgul comes from the Hebrew root meaning to spin. In Hebrew, it means to spin, like wheel, the Gilgul means that it is striving after a higher form of perfection. Though it is likely that Jewish ideas about transmigration are rooted far back in antiquity, the first explications of Gilgul appear in medieval Kabbalah and during that time in other books as well. One of the earliest of these can be found in Sefer Ha-Bahir, the Book of Brightness, or Zohar. So this is the mystics another mystic, that is Isaac Luria in the 16th century. He also heavily mentions of this presence of the doctrine of reincarnation in Torah and Talmud. So, in Jewish tradition it is there. If you see Christian tradition, the Saint Augustine mentions it. Saint Augustine was before that time when this this was banned. But before that, Saint Augustine writes about it, that how gradually nobody is actually going to be condemned that all the time. There is the scope that you improve gradually. So there is this doctrine that actually Plotinus and Origen had proclaimed, that the universal salvation. Everybody is moving towards salvation, and everybody ultimately will get it. Even those who are living a very bad satanic life. Satan, how can Satan get salvation? I mean, Satan will then no longer remain a Satan. It will undergo transformation. Satan as Satan will obviously not get liberated. It is like, say, a dog will not become human. It has still its two legs are cleared, only two legs, and further evolution happens. Then a dog will start looking like a human being. So there is this change in the physical body. It undergoes transformation, and thus everybody at one time then will come to the level where it matches the perfection. So this is how they think of life, that whatever stage we may be, then we are told about how the process of perfection will go on, what causes the imperfection. This is how the interpretation of the Christian Bible given by Origen and also Saint Augustine and some other Christian saints, that you see how that it is. Look at the story of creation, that there is this story, the two stories are there. If you see in the Genesis of Bible, you may see the two stories of creation. One is where the God separated light from darkness and all that, and then did all these different species were made, and then after these species were made, he made man in his own image. So that is one idea of creation, that this is the saying of the soul of every being. That is God made it. Another story of creation, right there, is the story of how the Adam, he first made Adam, as it were. Adam, then Eve, and then there was the serpent who tempts them, and they did the act that was forbidden. And thus from that, this whole universe kind of came up. So, according to these protagonists of it, this idea of evolution, they speak of the two different concepts. One is the creation of soul that never dies. That part of the divine, everybody has that divine which does not change. And then there is the matter part, changing, and that is depicted in the second story. So this is how now one has become impure, fallen, sinful, and thus now is bound, cannot get liberation till all the sin has been cleansed up. So this is the purpose of our life in this world, to become perfect. Do we not want to become perfect? We want to become perfect, no doubt. It is, and so, in the search for perfection, we keep on that there is the ideal, perfect. And where am I? I am here. So gradually you change yourself in that light to attain to that perfection. Like a portrait is made, that somebody sits there, and then somebody told me long ago, I didn't have time, but he had the desire to make portrait of me. He said, I am a very good, I paint portraits very nicely. So please give me 5 minutes. I said, okay, just 5 minutes, I have to go. And in 5 minutes, he made something and that resembled a human being, but not Swami Yogatmananda. So I said, no, it doesn't look like me, Oh, okay, I will correct it. Sit for 5 more minutes. I said, sorry, yes, you can keep on doing perfection by looking at my image in your mind. It is, the idea is the first draft that the person makes may not come as good. So therefore, sometimes they say multiple sittings. That okay, today we did the rough sketch. Come again. Then tomorrow you sit for another half an hour and we will make it better. So like that you keep on seeing on the one hand that this looks like this. My portrait looks like this. Now change the portrait. Don't change the actual person there. Change the portrait so that it closely matches the person. So similarly, attainment of perfection, this body, this life led, no, it didn't come to perfection. I committed too many mistakes. And so now I will have to correct them to come to perfection. Okay, next life, I could not do it. In Upanishads and all, of course, these things are described in great details. But it is wonderful to see that this is in Judeo-Christian tradition as well. In the Christian Bible, which certainly, is the translation from Greek. The difference between the Jewish Bible and the Christian Bible is Christian Bible is from Greek. It got translated into Latin and so forth. So for a long time, except in the Greek Orthodox Church, in the regular Catholic Church, their Mass used to be in Latin. Even now, in some cathedrals, the Mass happens in Latin. So now that Bible itself has many germs of reincarnation, very clearly visible. That it is, one is of course about in the Old Testament, that you have the Moses, and Moses is described there that so many times the statement, the reference comes, are you Elijah again coming as Moses? Means, yeah, it is that there is this rebirth. The one who was Elijah and now has come as Moses. In Christian Bible also this thing comes there, that Elijah was reborn, reincarnated as the who baptized Christian, John the Baptist. John the Baptist. So Elijah comes up, reincarnated as it were, as John the Baptist. So it is, and similar questions have been asked to Jesus, that are you the John the Baptist that has come back again as Jesus? So the point here is that the reincarnation was accepted in the Bible as well, although subsequently you find that rejection of it in the 6th century, that and so those who professed this reincarnation, they were banned, they were declared as heretics. So but otherwise this idea makes perfect sense, that many of these thoughts you can see, read, and I have heavily drawn on that book, although I am not quoting from that book. Swami Abhedananda's wonderful book, Reincarnation. And he shows that how in erstwhile Christianity all these teachers, they were believers in this doctrine of reincarnation, and in this the Judaic tradition, Kabbalah does not say that we are telling you about reincarnation. Kabbalah says this thing in Torah, that Gilgul really means reincarnation. It brought out what was hidden in the doctrine so far. So this is how you can see that what is really a common sense thing. So how some teachers of religion can miss it? I don't think they missed it. They were not so dumb, but they deliberately kept people away from it and tried to tell, no, there is reincarnation is not what we accept. It is, as Swami Vivekananda says in Jnana Yoga, and this is quoted by Swami Abhedananda also in his book, that it is this most rational explanation of the variety that we see in our life. It is not to be, given the name as a big theory, because this is just matter of common sense, that just as the body keeps on changing, the soul remains the same. So also the soul takes up another body. How the soul has taken this body? Do we know? No. So where is the problem that it would take another body? This body has been taken to fulfill desires. Now if the desires are gone at the end of this body, then you don't need another body. But if not, you need another body to work the remaining desires that one has. And therefore this is a very common sense doctrine, that it is, you see, in Judaism also, actually there are something very far-fetched, and therefore many Jewish thinkers say that no, we don't want it to be brought out, because it says that whatever is happening to you now is probably because of the bad actions you committed in your past birth. And so one Jewish thinker has gone to the extent that all those millions of Jewish people died, were killed in Germany and in Poland. They were sinners in their past life. One need not think like that. This is becoming too simplistic. The idea is that you take the body and work towards freedom, ultimate emancipation by changing the bodies. So the point is, this is a very acceptable truth to many Christians and Jewish people, at least in the modern times. And do not get worried about persecution. Now there is the religious persecution is matter of past now. So this idea is not just limited to Hinduism or Buddhism, but pervades throughout the different religions. I did not include the Muslim ideas here, but actually some say that the ideas in Kabbalah, they were brought in by the Muslims. So it is possible that the Muslims also have the same. In some other lecture I can think about it. But today it was only Judeo-Christian tradition, and so we had discussed that. Thank you very much. Think about it for a little while, for a few seconds, and then in case if you have questions, feel free to voice them or type them. Any questions? Who you have? Okay.
Swamiji, what's the difference between reincarnation and rebirth?
Same thing. Same thing. It is birth is incarnation. Means you get into a body. That is incarnation. It also, you are in a way, nice question that everybody accepts this birth, that is soul or mind or something that is ethereal has taken this material form which is different from it. So therefore, now if it can take one, why not many? So reincarnation is same as rebirth.
Pranam Maharaj.
Pranam.
In Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, I think this topic was discussed once, that somebody asked Thakur that, do you have a reincarnation? And I think Thakur said, Thakur didn't give that much importance to that. He said that, yeah, in this world so many things can happen. It may be people say like that, something like that. He basically downplays that. Is there any specific reason why he doesn't give that importance?
It is to, avoid this terrible and meaningless speculations. That if Rupak wants to know who was I in last birth, and then who was Kashmika then, and all that will be such a, meaningless, that wandering into that field. And many get, into that. That is called not spirituality, but spiritualism. That it is to find out that this spirit went into that body. And there is a book, if you want to read, I never liked that book, that it may be the things they mentioned there are true, I don't deny completely. But it doesn't serve much purpose. Rather puts us on a wrong path. That I think it is that many mansions, something the title of that book, that many mansions, that you go from this body, that body, and then that person who had, as he himself claimed, the knowledge as to see what previous birth this fellow had, and thus he gave therapies for that, your this particular physical problem is because in the past birth you were like this. And so now apply this remedy and it will go. And supposedly, it is as the book claims the person felt better. So, but to prevent people from just this mongering of other words, when I was there, then who was that fellow, and now this person is, my neighbor is tormenting me, and I must have tormented him probably in past birth, and so forth. In past birth I was probably the bed bug that was biting him and destroyed his sleep. Now he is doing to me this birth. This is all speculation. There is no basis to that, and therefore Thakur did not want to discuss it. You will find most Swamis in Ramakrishna Mission also do not discuss this idea, although all know and very clearly say that you have incarnated millions of times and will continue to reincarnate till you are liberated. Right. Any question upstairs? So let me tell you about the upcoming programs. Coming Sunday, we have a wonderful talk on pilgrimage places in Kolkata, sanctified by Sri Ramakrishna, and it will be given by Professor Sukalyan Sengupta. He had gone to all these places, has collected lot of nice photographs, the memoirs, and as you know that he is a very delightful speaker. So next Sunday, the regular 5 to 6 time, we have this wonderful discourse. And the Tuesday and Friday classes will go on as usual at 7:30 p.m. Tuesdays the topic is Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, and Fridays it is stories from Srimad Bhagavatam. Every morning and evening there will be the prayers, meditation sessions as mentioned in the flyer. You are welcome to attend that. For those morning prayers and meditations, you have to come from the special back door for the shrine. So please use that. This door will be closed for very early morning and evenings when there is no class, but you can come for the prayers and meditation from that specially made nice back entrance. Let us conclude with the closing prayers. Please recite loudly. May the Divine, who is Father in heaven of the Christians, Holy One of the Jewish faith, Allah of the Muslims, Buddha of the Buddhists, Tao of the Taoists, Great Spirit of the Native Americans, Ahur Mazda of the Zoroastrians, and Brahman of the Hindus, lead us from the unreal to the real, from darkness to light, from death to immortality. May the all-loving being manifest himself unto us and grant us abiding understanding and all-consuming divine love. Peace, peace, peace be unto all. Now there will be the arati in that room. Of course, if you want to come inside, you have to take off your footwear. Oh yes, and after that will be soup supper. Thank you. But you can attend the arati from here itself if you don't want to take the shoes off.
Bondage and adored by all, we adore you too. Stainless Lord, assuming human form, stay transcendent yet filled with love. You free us from the stain of sin and ornament our world. Consciousness is upon your eyes, always purified by knowledge. Your eyes always purified by knowledge. Looking at them, illusion is gone. Ocean of shining love and feeling, ever inebriated in your infinite love. Your feet always dear to your devotees. Your feet always dear to your devotees. Form a boat to cross this world. Revealed to us as God incarnate and the Lord of all things, helping us join with you. Your mind's always set in the divine light. Your mind's always set in the divine light. This we can see through your grace. Destroyer of worldly sorrow and compassion, so infinite is your word. Your life's offered for the world's deliverance. Your life's offered for the world's deliverance, saving us from darkness and fear. Renouncer of all lust and lucre, therefore you were always spurning sensual life. Lord of monks, you are the best of men. Lord of monks, you are the best of men. Grant to us pure love for you. You're fearless and you're free from doubting, with your mind very firmly resolved. Causeless refuge of your devotees. Causeless refuge of your devotees. Renouncing caste and birth. Our treasure is your holy feet, which take us very soon across this puddle of life. You give love and even sightedness. You give love and even sightedness to remove our anguish here. Our treasure is your holy feet, which take us very soon across this puddle of life. You give love even-sightedness. You give love and even-sightedness to remove our anguish here. Greetings to you, O Lord, beyond both speech and mind. Greetings to you, O Lord, beyond both speech and mind. Yet you are the basis of both, O Lord, yet you are the basis of both. Great light of all lights, blazing in the heart's cave. Great light of all lights, blazing in the heart's cave. Darkness is destroyed by your light. O Lord, darkness is destroyed by your light. Greetings to you, O Lord, beyond both speech and mind. Greetings to you, O Lord, beyond both speech and mind. Yet you are the basis of both, O Lord, yet you are the basis of both. Great light of all lights, blazing in the heart's gate. Great light of all lights, blazing in the heart's gate. Darkness is destroyed by your light. O Lord, darkness is destroyed by your light. Langa, ranga, bhanga, these are all the sounds of mridanga. Langa, ranga, bhanga, these are all the sounds of mridanga. Spiritual songs devotees are singing for your worship divine. Spiritual songs devotees are singing for your worship divine. Jaya, Jaya for your worship divine. Hare, Hare for your worship divine. Shiva, Shiva for your worship divine. Breaker of all our worldly bondage and adored by all, we adore you too. Jai Shri Guru Maharaj Ji Ki Jai. Auspicious and blessed graciousness sublime, all noble ends you give to us, granting us refuge, all-seeing God, O Mother Divine, our love to you. Creation, preservation, dissolution are your powers, eternal one. Nature's real basis, nature's essence, O Mother Divine, our love to you. we come seeking refuge from anguish. Be our Savior through your deep concern. All our suffering remove, Goddess, O Mother Divine, our love to you. Victory, O Mother Divine, our love to you. Blessed Mother Divine, our love to you. Blessed Mother Divine, our love to you. Blessed Mother Divine, our love to you. Jai Shri Ram Krishna Dev Ki Jai. Jai Shri Sarda Devi Ki Jai. Jai Shri Swami Vivekananda Ki Jai. Jai Shri Buddhadev Ki Jai. Jai Shri Jesus Christ Ki Jai.